probably, for me, this is one of our most important videos. It's about coaching for well-being. And great coaching is coaching for well-being. But I'm going to explore with you a few of the things that you can do. Hi, it's Ruth Kudzi, founder of Optimus Coach Academy and Ruth Kudzi Coaching Limited. I am passionate about helping people live the lives they want to live on their terms, through supporting people to train and develop as coaches, and supporting people in my coaching business to build and grow their businesses. So when we're talking about well-being, I do want to make sure that we make the differentiation between being well and being mentally unwell or physically unwell. Now, of course, if you're physically unwell, you can access coaching. But if you're mentally unwell, coaching is not a psychological intervention. So it's not something that can help you with your depression, help you with your anxiety. If you've got, a diagnosable mental health condition, speak to your doctor and get proper support. I do always want to say that. So well-being. For me, well-being is at the heart of what we do as coaches. We support people to think, feel and act differently so they can live lives that are more nourishing. And this is about how they feel and what they do. So when I'm talking about well-being, it is a combination of different things. I'm going to go to Martin Seligman, who developed the PERMA model and is the grandfather of positive psychology. He talks about the well-being and he talks about it looking at these different factors. Positive emotion. Are you feeling positive emotion? Are you able to access the joy, the happiness, the awe? How often do you feel them? Are you able to reframe negative experiences and see the positive? What this doesn't mean is toxic positivity. Everything's fine, everything's great, nothing to see here. That's not what it is. It's about, okay, something really bad's happened to me. I feel really sad, I feel really upset. However, I'm not going to spend my time in that emotion for too long. So, of course, I'm going to experience a range of emotions, but within that range, it's experiencing the positive emotions. And it's being able to reframe and go to that positive, go to gratitude when something bad's happened. Now, of course, we're talking about a magnitude of bad. Some things are going to, we're going to be more in the negative than the positive for a while. But equally, we know through research, through things like grief, you're not always in that emotion. You are able to access some positive emotions within that. Now, obviously, significant grief, it's going to be more limited, but I wanted to give that as an example. So positive emotion. How often can you access this? Are you able to access it? Are you able to reframe? So E, the second one for PERMA, is about engagement. Now, I think this is really interesting because we know that we've only got so much bandwidth. So how are we choosing to spend our time? How present are we with what we're doing? In this world, we seem to be constantly multitasking, but actually, are we engaged with what we're doing? Are we engaged with the people around us? Engagement increases well-being. Doing things where you can get into that flow state, as Gay Hendricks says in his book, The Big Leap, the zone of genius, where you're fully immersed in what you're doing and you don't see what's going on outside it. Relationships. Relationships are so key. The people that we have around us. And we know over 2020, 2021, with the lockdown, relationships for many people suffered and loneliness went up. We know that if you have positive relationships, that your life expectancy is longer. Some of the places, I think they call them red zones, don't they? Some of the places that have got the most people who've lived over 100 years, they have great relationships. I know there's a place in Italy, and it's quite interesting, that red zone things, because they're called that because somebody did a circle on the map and that was the colour pen that they had. So I love that as well. Positive relationships help us live longer. Loneliness actually decreases our life expectancy. So as a coach, how are we building positive relationships with other people, with those people around us, those people that we see every day, and those people in our wider circle? How are we supporting our clients too as well? How are we modelling great relationships with our clients? And I'd say there's all of this stuff, isn't there, that you are people love to talk about how you're the product of the 5 people you spend the most time with. For me, those people generally tend to be your family, or maybe your flatmates or your close friends or people that you work with. But it may be more about, okay, well, who are the people that I'm choosing to spend time with outside there? I'm definitely not a fan of cutting people off or culling your family. Your family are your family, and I'm pretty into family. However, think about who you're spending your time with, who makes you feel good, who makes you feel positive and that you can do things. I've got lots of great friends. Most of my friends I've known for 20 plus years, and I know, okay, actually I need a bit of a lift. Can you go for a walk? Can we go for a coffee? Maybe can we go for some wine? Whatever it may be. And those relationships really enable you to feel good, to access that positive emotion. I do think relationships are an interesting one as well, because you want people who are going to be honest and supportive. And so having those right people. So now we've looked at positive emotion, engagement, relationships, and we're on to M, our 4th one, which is about meaning. How much do you feel that what you do has meaning, something bigger than you? And this might not, people always go to, this has to be about work. It doesn't have to be about work, but it's this idea that you matter, this idea that what you do makes a difference. And when people don't feel that they mean anything, their levels of well-being are going to be lower. Now remember, every single one of these elements we can coach people on. We can support people, because all of these can be developed. We can help support people to make decisions to improve their relationships. We can help support people to find more meaning in what they're doing. And the last one is accomplishments. How much do you feel that emotion, that positive emotion, that dopamine hit when you achieve something? There is this thing that sometimes when people have imposter syndrome, they say that all of their accomplishments are based on luck. They put it onto external factors. They don't say, actually, I've done this, I've achieved this. So what I would say to you is really consider, how much you are celebrating and taking ownership for the things that you achieve. And start to build that in. Start to build in those mini celebrations. Start to give yourself the pat on the back. I've done this. Look at how successful I am as a result. So that's a model of well-being. And I think that this is becoming more of a measure of actually, how are you feeling? How are you feeling in terms of your energy? How are you feeling in terms of your health? There are lots of measures that we can look at this as well, and we can look at well-being on lots of different scales. We know that sleep is one of the most important determinants. Actually, it's correlated with life expectancy. It's correlated with performance at work. It's correlated with illness. I know, reading some research when I was in my 20s, and I did ignore it, but it said that if you had disrupted sleep, it impacted your life expectancy. At that time, I was going to clubs all night, so I just chose to ignore it. However, the evidence is there. So what disrupts our sleep? Well, we know stress does. We know that there can be environmental factors that do as well, and physical factors. Now, obviously, sometimes people have sleep disorders. If you do, then it's about getting that support. But if you don't, what can you do to support yourself to get better quality sleep? Because again, it helps everything in your body rejuvenate. It helps you think better. It helps you perform better. It helps you live longer. Helps you make better food choices. I'm not sure if there's anyone here, I'm definitely putting my hand up here, that if I don't get enough sleep, well, there's some research I recently read, 250 to 500 calories more you eat the next day. If I don't get enough sleep, it's straight to the crisps for me, straight to the white carbs. That is my lack of sleep. I know when I'm tired because I find myself mainlining crisps at 10 o'clock in the morning. So sleep, that is one of the most important things that we can do for our well-being. So you can coach people on this. How would you rate your sleep? What's going on? What's your routine? What could you do to improve? This isn't about saying to people, you have to get up at 5 a.m. or you have to go to bed at 10 p.m. or 9 p.m. it's about working with your clients to find something that they can sustainably do, because we build new habits through focus and repetition. So it needs to be sustainable. Stress. Stress impacts our well-being. Chronic and acute stress especially. Of course, some stress we all need. So what can you do to support your clients to reduce their stress levels? So as a coach, what we're not doing is we're not saying, you need to drink 2 litres of water a day, you need to exercise every day, blah, you need to get this much sleep. We know that as principles, and probably everybody, well, the majority of the world knows that. What we're doing is we're supporting our clients to make better choices that will positively impact their well-being. We've looked at those measures. We can look at what they're doing for their physical health, their mental health as well. So coaching for well-being is very much about coaching the whole person. And I think it's something that I do more and more with my clients to really support them to make better choices. Because when we feel good, the whole world is a much nicer place to live in. And interestingly, the PERMA model, it's now got something about negative effect, negative emotions, and how often we feel those. And obviously if that's higher, then that impacts our well-being. If we find that we aren't able to deal with those emotions, or we regularly go to those places, or we see things through the opposite of rose-tinted glasses. As humans, we naturally have a bias towards negative thinking. But if we can change that bias, we can feel better about ourselves, we can increase our well-being. One of the things that many of the coaches do at Optimus Coach Academy is have well-being at the heart of their coaching. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, I'd like you to like and subscribe. And remember to keep abreast of all of our new videos. Just ring that bell and you'll be notified when any new ones come out. And we'd love to hear feedback from you. So if you'd like to post beneath your biggest takeaway, and equally anything that you'd like to hear me talk about, we're always open to feedback.